The vast emptiness of space stretched before the human exploration vessel, its sleek metal hull reflecting distant starlight. Captain J. Park stood motionless, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic display that flickered with incoming signals from an unknown source. The ship's communication systems crackled to life. Strange geometric patterns danced across the screens, a language unlike anything humans had ever encountered. Technicians scrambled, their fingers flying across complex control panels, trying to decode the mysterious transmission. "Status report," Jay commanded, his voice calm but tinged with an edge of tension. Lieutenant Kim, a young communication specialist, looked up from her console. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission, but it's unlike anything in our database. The signal patterns suggest an advanced technological civilization." Moments later, a crystalline-shaped vessel emerged from the darkness of space. Its design was nothing like human engineering. Smooth, almost organic, with surfaces that seemed to shift and change with each passing second. The ship moved with a grace that defied the laws of physics known to human scientists. Jay remembered his training. First contact protocols were clear. Remain calm, show no aggression, and attempt communication. His hand hovered near the communication controls, hesitating for just a moment. The alien ship stopped precisely 500 kilometers from the human vessel. No weapons were visible, but the potential for conflict hung in the air like a thick fog. Years of human space exploration had prepared them for this moment, yet nothing could truly prepare anyone for meeting an entirely new, intelligent species. A holographic image suddenly appeared on the bridge. A being stood before them, humanoid but distinctly alien. Its skin seemed to shimmer with an iridescent quality, changing colors like a living rainbow. Large almond-shaped eyes studied the human crew with an intensity that made some crew members shift uncomfortably. "Greetings, humans of Earth," the being spoke, its voice resonating directly in their minds rather than through traditional audio systems. "We are the unified Galactic Confederation. We have been observing your species for some time." Jay stepped forward, years of diplomatic training guiding his movements. "We come in peace," he responded, carefully choosing each word. "We seek understanding and peaceful communication." The alien representative tilted its head, a surprisingly human-like gesture that caught Jay off guard. "Your species is interesting," it said, the mental communication carrying a hint of something between curiosity and caution, unpredictable, volatile, potentially dangerous. Lieutenant Kim whispered to a nearby crew member, "Is that a compliment or a threat?" The ship's computer began analyzing the transmission, comparing linguistic and communication patterns. The alien language was complex with layers of meaning that went beyond simple words. Each communication seemed to carry emotional and contextual nuances that human translators struggled to fully comprehend. Jay noticed small details. The alien's body language suggested a mix of curiosity and wariness. Its color shifts seemed to correspond with different emotional states, something the human crew was just beginning to understand. "We have been watching your technological progress," the alien continued. "Your rapid advancement is unusual. Most species take much longer to develop space travel capabilities." Something in the alien's tone suggested more than a simple observation. There was an underlying current of concern, almost fear. The bridge crew remained silent, understanding the importance of this moment. This was more than a first contact. This was humanity's introduction to a larger, more complex universe than they had ever imagined. As the holographic transmission continued, Jay realized that everything was about to change. Humanity's understanding of its place in the universe would never be the same. Little did they know, this first encounter would set in motion a series of events that would forever alter the balance of galactic politics, and ultimately lead to humans being banned from participating in interstellar conflicts. The peacekeeping mission seemed routine at first. Lieutenant Juan Kim stood at the secondary command station, his fingers hovering nervously over the communication interface. The Crimson Nebula stretched before them, a swirling mass of red and purple gases that concealed multiple star systems constantly in conflict. The alien coalition's standard defensive formation looked impressive on the tactical displays. Massive. Ships arranged in perfect geometric patterns, each one connected by energy links that suggested decades of synchronized training. Humans were supposed to be support personnel, observers, nothing more. But something felt wrong. The enemy fleet approached, a collection of dark, angular ships that moved with mechanical precision. Traditional military doctrine suggested a straightforward, defensive strategy. The alien commanders expected predictable responses, calculated movements, precise mathematical approaches to conflict. Juan saw something different. While senior officers discussed standard engagement protocols, he began mapping alternative communication frequencies. His fingers moved quickly, creating complex algorithmic patterns that disrupted standard communication networks. He wasn't just thinking about fighting, he was thinking about psychological disruption. "Sir," Juan interrupted the ongoing strategic meeting, "I have an alternative approach." The senior commanders looked skeptical. Humans were new to galactic conflicts, barely understood as a species. Their inclusion in the peacekeeping mission was more diplomatic courtesy than genuine military consideration. Juan's plan was elegantly simple yet maddeningly complex. Instead of direct confrontation, he proposed using modified communication signals that would create confusion within the enemy fleet's coordination systems. His strategy wasn't about destroying ships, it was about making them unable to function effectively. "We don't fight their strength," Juan explained. "We exploit their predictability." The alien military strategists watched in growing amazement as Juan's plan unfolded. The enemy fleet, so perfectly arranged moments ago, began to show signs of disorganization. Communication links flickered. Navigation systems became erratic. Ships that were once moving in perfect synchronization now seemed confused, almost lost. No weapons had been fired. No traditional combat maneuvers executed. Within 30 minutes, the entire enemy fleet was in complete disarray. Their technological superiority meant nothing against an approach they couldn't anticipate or understand. Juan had turned warfare into a form of psychological chess, where victory was achieved through intelligence rather than firepower. The alien commanders were stunned. Humans weren't just different, they were fundamentally unpredictable. "How did you do this?" asked the senior alien strategic coordinator, genuine confusion in his voice. Juan simply smiled. "We humans don't always fight. Sometimes we just think differently." His approach revealed something profound about human potential. Traditional military thinking relied on established patterns, predictable responses, mathematical calculations. Humans introduced an element of creativity, of unexpected solutions that defied conventional understanding. The peacekeeping mission became a turning point, not because of violence or destruction, but because it demonstrated humanity's unique approach to problem-solving. They didn't just see challenges, they reimagined entire systems of engagement. As reports of the mission spread through galactic communication networks, something shifted. Humans were no longer just another species seeking recognition. They were a wild card, an unpredictable force that could change everything with simple, elegant solutions. The alien coalition would never look at humans the same way again. Juan returned to his quarters, understanding that he had done more than win a military engagement. He had fundamentally challenged how intelligent species approached conflict, communication, and strategic thinking. The Great Stellar Conflict burned across multiple star systems. Two ancient civilizations, the Oran Collective and the Stellar Confederation, had been fighting for generations. Millions of ships moved like complex chess pieces, destroying entire planetary systems in their endless war. Commander Sujin Lee's squadron arrived as support personnel. They were not supposed to engage directly. Their mission was simple: provide technical assistance and medical support. But everything changed in moments. The Oran Collective's primary defense network was collapsing. Their sophisticated energy shields flickered, massive battleships spinning out of control. Traditional rescue protocols suggested immediate withdrawal and minimal intervention. Sujin saw something different. "Prepare emergency communication protocols," she commanded her team. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned with an intensity that made her crew instantly alert. Her team quickly modified their communication systems. They weren't just sending messages. They were creating complex signal patterns that could potentially stabilize the failing defense networks. It was a risky strategy that went against every established galactic warfare protocol. The Stellar Confederation watches were confused. Humans were doing something unprecedented. They were attempting to stabilize an enemy's defensive systems instead of exploiting their weakness. Within minutes, Sujin's team had done the impossible. They had created a communication bridge that temporarily stopped the complete destruction of the Oran Collective's primary fleet, not by fighting, but by understanding the complex technological systems better than their creators. "We're not here to win," Sujin told her shocked crew. "We're here to prevent total destruction." Her approach was revolutionary. Traditional military thinking said exploit weakness. Human thinking said prevent total collapse. It wasn't about winning. It was about creating a pathway to potential peace. The battle transformed. Where massive energy weapons had been destroying entire planetary systems moments before, now there was a strange pause. The human intervention had created an unexpected moment of reflection. Alien military commanders watched in total disbelief. Humans had not fired a single weapon. They had not destroyed a single ship. Yet they had completely changed the conflict's trajectory. Technological scans showed something remarkable. The human communication systems had not just stabilized the Oran Collective's defenses, they had actually revealed critical weaknesses in the Stellar Confederation's attack strategy. Without destroying anything, humans had effectively neutralized an entire military offensive. "Unpredictability is our greatest weapon," Sujin whispered to herself. The intervention lasted less than 48 hours, but its impact would be felt for generations. Humans had shown they could change conflicts not through destruction, but through intelligent, creative problem-solving. Galactic communication networks buzzed with confusion, wonder, and a growing sense of concern. Who were these humans? What were they capable of doing? The Oran Collective's leadership requested direct communication with the human squadron. They wanted to understand how a support team had done what generations of advanced military strategists could not. Sujin's response was simple and direct. "We look for solutions, not just victories." Her team had not just participated in a conflict. They had redefined what conflict resolution could mean. They showed that intelligence, creativity, and a fundamental desire to prevent destruction could be more powerful than any weapon. As their squadron prepared to return to base, Sujin knew something fundamental had changed. Humans were no longer just another species in the galaxy. They were a force that could not be predicted, controlled, or easily understood. The Galactic High Council chamber was unlike any human courtroom. Holographic representations of various alien species flickered like living sculptures, each one representing a different civilization from across the known universe. Min Park stood at the center, the sole human representative. His posture was calm, but his eyes carried the weight of humanity's future. Massive screens displayed recorded evidence from recent human interventions. Each holographic replay showed how humans had disrupted traditional conflict resolution methods. The Oran Collective's near destruction, the unexpected tactical solutions, the psychological warfare techniques, all laid bare for galactic judgment. An elder representative from the quantum alignment spoke first. Its body was a swirling mass of energy, words forming directly in the minds of those present. Humans are an unprecedented anomaly. They do not follow established protocols. They create chaos where order is expected. Another holographic figure, a crystalline being from the Stellar Preservation Council, added, "Their interventions, while technically successful, violated 17 fundamental galactic conflict resolution agreements." Min listened carefully. He understood that this was more than a simple hearing. This was an evaluation of humanity's potential place in the galactic community. Recorded evidence played across multiple dimensional displays. Humans had not just participated in conflicts. They had fundamentally changed how conflicts were understood. Their approach was not about destruction, but about finding unexpected solutions that traditional military thinking could not comprehend. The most damning evidence came from the Crimson Nebula intervention. Lieutenant Juan Kim's communication disruption technique was shown in detailed analysis. He had effectively neutralized an entire enemy fleet without firing a single weapon. They weaponize creativity, one council member noted, a hint of fear in the mental communication. Min knew humanity was being judged not for their actions, but for their potential. Humans represented an unpredictable variable in the carefully structured galactic system. They did not think like other species. They did not follow established rules. Holographic data streams showed humanity's rapid technological advancement. In just decades, they had achieved technological developments that took other species centuries. Their adaptive capabilities were unprecedented. They are like a virus, one council member suggested. Unpredictable, adaptive, potentially destructive, another defender of humanity spoke. A silicon-based life form from the Outer Rim pointed out the humanitarian aspects of human interventions. They had saved millions of lives across multiple conflicts, not through traditional military might, but through intelligent problem-solving. The tribunal lasted what seemed like endless hours. Each alien species presented their perspective, their fears, their potential strategies for managing this new human variable. Min Park remained silent. He knew that words would not convince them. Humanity's actions would speak louder than any argument he could present. As the hearing progressed, something became increasingly clear. Humans were not just another species to be categorized and controlled. They were a fundamental disruption to the established galactic order. The final deliberations began. Holographic voting systems activated, representing countless civilizations. Each representative carefully considered the evidence, the potential risks, the possible benefits of human participation in galactic affairs. Min understood the stakes. This was more than a tribunal. This was a judgment of humanity's potential future in the universe. The chamber grew silent. Millions of years of galactic civilization waited to make a decision about this young, unpredictable species called humans. The decision came swiftly and without mercy. Galactic Directive 7 Alpha would permanently restrict human participation in military and conflict resolution operations across the known universe. Captain J. Park received the transmission in his private quarters. The holographic message flickered with official seals from multiple alien civilizations. Humans would be limited to advisory, technological, and humanitarian roles. No direct military engagement would be permitted. But they didn't understand that this was not a punishment. It was a recognition. The directive detailed specific restrictions. Humans could not command military vessels, could not develop weapons, systems for galactic use, and would be carefully monitored in any technological exchanges. Their unpredictability was both their greatest strength and their most significant threat. News spread quickly through human colonies. Some were angry, some were disappointed, but most understood the deeper meaning behind the ban. They had proven something profound. Humans were not just another species in the vast galactic community. They were something entirely different. Research facilities across human territories began exploring new avenues. If they couldn't fight wars, they would revolutionize every other aspect of galactic interaction. Medical technologies, communication systems, problem-solving approaches, humans would find their own path. The alien civilizations thought they had contained humanity. In reality, they had just challenged them. Scientific communities began developing technologies that would circumvent the military restrictions. Not through weapons, but through intelligence. Communication systems that could prevent conflicts before they started. Medical technologies that could heal entire planetary populations. Diplomatic channels became humanity's new battlefield. Where traditional military power failed, human creativity would succeed. Earth's leadership understood the deeper strategy. The ban was not a limitation, it was an opportunity. Humans would prove their value through innovation, not destruction. Young researchers and scientists saw the directive as a challenge. If they couldn't develop weapons, they would develop solutions that made weapons unnecessary. Climate restoration technologies, interstellar communication systems, medical breakthroughs that could transform entire civilizations. The Galactic Confederation believed they had placed humans in a box. They didn't realize humans were experts at thinking outside boundaries. Diplomatic training programs expanded. Humans would become the ultimate problem solvers, the mediators, the unexpected solution providers. Where other species saw conflict, humans would see opportunity for understanding. J. Park smiled as he read the final directive. The alien civilizations had no idea what they had just unleashed. Technological innovation accelerated. Humans redirected their competitive energy into solving problems that had plagued galactic civilizations for millennia. Medical research, communication, technologies, peaceful exploration. These became the new frontiers. The ban was supposed to restrict humanity. Instead, it would define them. Years passed. Other civilizations began seeking human advisors. Their unique perspective, their ability to see solutions where others saw only problems became legendary. Humans were not allowed to fight wars, but they became the architects of peace. Young humans grew up understanding their special place in the galactic community. They were not warriors. They were problem solvers, innovators, unexpected solution providers. The permanent ban became a badge of honor. It said more about human potential than any military victory could. J. Park, now an elder diplomatic advisor, watched a new generation of humans prepare to engage with the galaxy. They carried no weapons. They carried something far more powerful: imagination, creativity, and an unbreakable spirit. The stars waited to see what humans would do next. The universe had been warned. Humanity was not going to be contained.